Greetings, I'm Demonac, and it's arena time. Alright, back for my basic priest run here, and I don't know, the deck's looking decent. It has a lot of 1-cost and 2-cost spells and minions, which gives me a much better chance in the early game. And it has a pretty smooth casting cost curve. It's got about the same amount of 3 and 4-cost cards. And it's got 2 Holy Novas, which is a big deal for killing stuff in an area, like killing all the enemy minions, hopefully. I've got 2 silence minions. I've got some taunt. I definitely have some charge things to help me finish the game. It's got some fat options at the end. I don't know. It's seems like a decent generalized sort of deck. It's not super focused on any one thing, but that's pretty good for the arena. As long as you have that mana curve sort of worked out, which is really hard to do because you don't control what choices you get. You try and steer yourself, correct for whatever you're getting too much of early on or not enough of, but you often are faced with the choice of taking weaker cards or taking cards that don't fix the problems that you're seeing in your deck as it builds. Alright, we've got a rogue here. I know that first video took a long time, but remember, since about the 3rd run in the basic series, I'm trying to go a lot faster when I actually play. I don't mind having 1 4-cost minion in my starting hand. He goes well with the Power Word Shield, but I'll probably use it before then. This is not a very fast start, though. You know what? In this deck, I think I'm actually going to get rid of him. And actually that too. I want to try and get some of my 1 and 2-cost minions. Mostly the 2-cost guys. Oh, there's the Goldshire Footman that I picked by accident. Come on, Goldie, you're going to save the day, right? What? Oh, you weren't squelched. Pleasure clearly is yours. Alright, so we picked him by accident. I meant to pick one of these guys, and I got him instead. And the opponent is opening up by doing 3 damage to me directly. Now, Sinister Strike, 3 damage for 1 card that can only target players is a little bit on the weak side. Well, I don't have much to do here other than attack, and I can use my power and heal myself, which I might as well do. But yeah, the reason the rogue class has that card is because it's a very cheap card. It can help them to burn down their opponent, obviously, because rogues have a lot of other things that work well with spell damage. Rogues have a lot of just fast things. Aw, like, a lot of good you did. Yeah. But, this guy poses a problem, because he's big enough to kill my Blade Master, and I don't have enough mana to play him and heal him. But my choice is I can take 3 damage, just heal myself 1, because you can't go over 30. And things can start going downhill, because I won't have any board control. I don't think I have much choice. I think I'm going to have to play this guy, even though he's kind of doomed. But yeah, the thing Sinister Strike is good for in the rogue decks is to trigger their combo cards. You save it, and then you get 1 more mana than it costs to cast this guy, say. So on the 4 mana turn, she could go Sinister Strike and then play him and do 2 damage to a minion. Or she could have used it to get the better version of Cold Blood there. Oh, yeah, so she used Cold Blood, which is a combo card, but it didn't get the combo because it was the first card she played. Then she used it to power up the combo on Eviscerate, so it would do 4 damage to kill my guy. At least she's used a fair amount of stuff, but this guy would be very threatening if I didn't have Shadow Word Death. Now, this is a pretty powerful card. Do I want to spend it killing him? I'd rather use it on something even more dangerous. But if I play my Light Spawn, she can just hit it for 5 and kill it, right? And not to mention she could do other things and just keep hitting me for 5 with this guy. That's no good. So even though there might be better things to kill with it later, I think I need to do this right now. So sort of keep the board clear, at least. I can't get board control yet, because I'm going a little slow, and she's definitely not going slow. But at least if I can keep the board clear, I'm not taking a lot of damage. That's kind of scary. Killing him would be really nice. I have all these choices. He does a lot of damage. If I play this guy, he's tough enough that he can take a hit from that, so it might work out okay. But you really want to kill this guy fast before she can start playing other minions and have them die. Actually, playing him all alone is really weird, but it might be what the situation dictates. It's not like I have any minions out. My two choices here, really, my two good choices, are to spend all my mana getting the Berserker out, because that's a good use of my mana, and he does win against this thing, theoretically. If they just fought, he would win. So that's not a bad way to consider what you want to put on the board, but you can't count on it, because your opponent's going to do something to screw it up. Or I could play the Spellbreaker and silence this guy, which would stop her from drawing any cards, because if I've missed this, whenever any of her other minions dies, this guy draws her a card. And that's horrible. I don't want her drawing any cards. I think I'm going to risk it and play the Berserker this time, though. It uses my mana more efficiently. It's not always the most important thing, but next turn I could either play either of these guys and still heal myself or heal him. Are we going to hit me for 4? Yeah. Okay. This is pretty dangerous, and I can't do much about it. Stealth. Oh, that gives me a different choice. So, first, step 1, I could use this guy and just attack that as I had planned. So my guy would take 4, using his ability would trigger and give him +3 attack. The Cult Master's ability would not trigger, because it's one of your other minions. So if this thing dies first, no cards. If it dies at the same time as the other ones, still no cards. The other minions have to die first. If I do that, so this guy will take 4, he'd be a 2-3, then he gets his +3 attack, he'd be a 5-3, and then I could heal him back to up to a 5-5, just in time for him to die to this guy. May not be great. Other choices, I could play the Bluegill Warrior, just for 2 mana. He comes out and he has charge, so he can attack right away and kill that. That would be good, although I wouldn't get to enrage this guy, but I could hit her for 2, and he'd still be tough enough that this wouldn't kill him. It's going to go for me. But I could do that, and then I'd still be able to play the Lightspawn, who is big enough to fight that. Yeah, okay, I think that's what I'm going to do. Because I'm running out of time, and I don't want to screw it up more by not doing this stuff, so... I'm only hitting for 2. I'm not sure that was a great turn, but I'm just doing what I can. Next turn, if any of these guys are alive, I can play the Stormwind Champion, make all my other guys bigger, and that'll be pretty rough. So she might stab him, which would... No, okay. If he took any damage first, if she had like a Shiv or some card that did 1 damage to him, it would have reduced him to a 4-4, and then the Tiger could have killed him and survived. And that would have sucked for me. But, no, this is okay. I didn't take too much damage. That was a good trade for me. I was quite happy with that. So, I think I am just going to go ahead and play the Stormwind Knight. I could try and build up an army first, right? I could try and play this and heal myself, and I don't want to play this guy because he'd silence... He has to silence something when he comes into play. If he's alone, it's fine. But if there's any other minion in play that he can target, he has to silence it. And right now he would be silencing my other guy, and I'd lose his great ability that's preventing her from wanting to hit him. So, no. I could play this, heal 2. That's really not much of a turn. I'd rather get out this threat now. She just might not be able to deal with it. We're going to find out really fast. If she has an Assassinate, like 5 mana, blow up 1 creature, this would be a good target for it. Although this guy can get pretty scary if he takes any damage and survives. Okay. Really? See, that's a very risky move. You usually don't want to do that if you can possibly avoid it. She casts a creature buff, and it's an offensive creature buff, on a creature that couldn't attack yet, that couldn't use it right away. So it gives me lots of opportunity to kill this guy before she gets to use it. If I kill him now, then all the Cold Blood will have done is do like 4 extra damage to whichever guy I kill him with. Or worse, if I were to kill him with a spell or, or a charge creature that was like a 3/1, which doesn't care if he does 2 damage or 6, then that whole card would be wasted. You want to try and avoid that. I think... Oh, okay. It's pretty obvious play. He's already dangerous. You want to silence him sometimes because he gets bigger whenever anything dies. But now, if I silence him, he'll lose that big bonus to attack. With the +1 from the Stormwind Knight, my guy's big enough to kill him, and 2 damage I can easily afford on this guy, which makes him a lot more damaging. Meanwhile, I can hit her. I could heal him to keep him alive. I don't think there's much difference between 6 hit points and 8 against the rogue right now. I'm going to heal myself because I'm a little bit worried about getting beat up and only play 1 fairy dragon. I also could have played both fairy dragons, which would give me a huge army, but if she did have some area, it's hard with the rogue, but she could have some spell that hits everything. I didn't want to lose both of these guys.
Enter the shadow.
Okay, so she can stealth one friendly minion when she comes into play, but it doesn't help because she's alone, so it just doesn't go off. But my opponent is doomed, like really doomed. And just I don't have enough mana to mind control her guy first, but it doesn't matter. Okay, I was starting to attack. I was talking to you, so okay. Well, that went pretty well. There were some little hints there. I don't think that rogue was as experienced a player as I am. But, I don't know, even despite my slow start, I was able to keep things going, and that works pretty well. I mean, healing myself with my special ability isn't the most impressive thing. I'd much rather have something control the board. And I don't think there was any case in that whole game where I healed one of my friendly minions and it mattered, right? Because the trick with that is, your enemy doesn't usually do a little damage to one of your minions. They're going to kill the minion, or they're going to hold off, most of the time. Now, the advantage to the priest's healing is, on my turn, I can have some exchanges between minions, and then heal my own guy. Where that way I have control of the situation. But usually your opponent's not going to weaken your guys without killing them, unless it's an area spell and you have one thing that's just too big. Okay, I'm checking the last played. Yeah, just making sure it's a different rogue. So I definitely don't want mind control in my starting hand. 10 mana. It's going to take me 10 turns to get there. I don't really want you in my starting hand either. The Thought Steal is interesting, but I'd rather have more cheap minions. The Imp Master has a good chance to be useful, but let's see if I can get some other... the Direwolf Alpha. He works really well with the Imp Master. I don't think he's going to live long enough to see the light of day, but it's a cool idea. Okay, she's doing what I always don't do and then regret mostly, which is ignore his ability and just play him right away. Because if you have him in your hand, getting at that 2-1 for 1 mana is really useful, unless you're against a rogue, a mage, or a druid who can just kill him with their ability. So it is going to be useful on me. I could play either one of these minions and it would just get killed, basically. So I'm going to do nothing. I'm going to save my coin. She can hit me for 2, and she can probably do some other stuff, and I can heal for 2 if I don't do anything else next turn. But okay, that's a little bit bigger. So I could play this guy. He just loses to the Croc. That's no fun. So I'm going to coin out my Imp Master. At the end of every turn, she hurts herself, so she's only going to be a 1-4, but she's going to give me another 1-1. And although the rogue has enough damage to kill her, it would take both of her guys, and he would die from my Imp Master's 1 damage. So this seems like a pretty decent play. Plus, if she stays alive, she's taking damage, like she does damage to herself, I could heal her. So, of course, my opponent's not going to, damage her a little. She's either going to ignore her or kill her flat out. Ooh, Fan of Knives. That's not good for me. But it did take all her mana, so she would still need both of her minions to kill this. Yeah, she's going to ignore it for 1 more turn. Seems reasonable enough. Now, I could heal her. She'd be 1-5, then I kill this. She'd be 1-4. She would take 1 from making an imp. I could play him, give her +1 attack, but that's not going to make any difference. She still can't kill him, and she could kill him without it. So why would I put this guy out and make him vulnerable? I'd rather use him if I could get her with an imp alive that was ready to attack, then play him in between. They'd both get +1 attack. That'd be pretty cool. I could use this, but he'd kill one thing, but he's not going to do much. I think my best bet... This guy's also good because when he dies, I'm going to draw a card, unless he gets silenced or something. And that's good. But I think the best plan is to kill this, and then heal her. I miscalculated. Yeah, okay. So she's doomed, but whatever. Why did I miscalculate? I heal her up to 5, then she takes 2, and then she takes another 1. Yeah, I don't know what the hell I was doing. I was talking and not doing math correctly. I've been told by some expert YouTubers that you should not try and do math while you're recording. Which would be very difficult because, as far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of math in Hearthstone. Not complicated math, but you got to do your arithmetic. You've just got to be able to add things up and assess the situation. Kill it. I have lower health, so I should probably kill that guy. It's tempting to play both of these and attack her, though, because then I might have 2 things out to play this. No, it's stupid, though. Let's not do that. Yeah, I'm tempted to heal myself as well, but no. So I'm gonna use him to kill off the crocodile. We don't need the crocolisk. It's not a crocodile, it's in World of Warcraft. It's a crocolisk. No relation to the Zergolisk. Various Zerglisks, I'm sure. But, yeah. Heal myself is pretty pointless. I think I'm better off putting him out for board control. Even though she can just kill him, at least she takes 2 damage, and I'll draw another card that might be helpful. If she plays something big, I can kill it with Shadow or Death. If she plays an army of small things, I can kill it with Holy Nova. So I've got some options. That always fakes me out. I'm not used to playing with Loot Hoarder. I should, because it's good, but it dies, I draw a card, it makes me think they ended their turn. But no, there's my card for my turn. This is just the card I got from the Loot Hoarder. And he's really obnoxious because she'll draw a card every time he takes damage. She could draw multiple cards from that. If he was on my side, I could get damaged and then heal him and keep him in the game to draw even more cards. We don't want any of that going on. So I am going to silence him.
Your magic shall not save you.
And then I think this guy's pretty fragile. 3 toughness, not too hard to get rid of. 4 or 5. 4 would be a little better. 5 is much better. So I'm going to Power Word Shield him. Which also, the reason you play with this card is because it draws you another card for very cheap. And does something that can be useful on the battlefield. I've got a pretty big hand of cards. She also has a big hand of cards. I've taken more damage, so we're fairly even so far.
Sometimes I forget things.
He's very interesting. She only had 1 guy out, so he's really only gained her 1 spell power. But she has sort of given a use back to the Acolyte of Pain, who was pretty useless after being silenced the first time. I could silence him again somehow and get rid of that, but yeah, it's funny that he doesn't have his own text, but he does have another buff now. Wow. Okay, that's pretty obnoxious. Used another Cold Blood. Like, that's a big bonus it gives for 1 mana, but Deadly Poison, that's a little bit obnoxious for me. Now, I could play this guy, and he's a 6/6, and it would be awesome. The problem is that he wouldn't get to use his battle cry of making something else tougher. It's probably a little bit silly of me to hold off from that. But the other thing is I would like to start healing myself to negate the rogue's cards. The rogue is a class that's likely to play a lot of cards. Just play a card, do some damage. Play a card, do some damage. She's not... If I can just heal my way through it, she might not gain as much in the long term. My cards tend to be more... Well, as a priest anyway, your cards tend to be a little bit more staying power. You know, things you're trying to get card advantage out of. Rogue's not trying as much to get card advantage. Most of the time, they're trying to just get as much damage as they can per card, per mana. I'm thinking I'm going to play him. I've got nothing to bounce right now, but that's fine. That means he has no drawback either. Because he beats this guy handily. I mean, she could use the dagger and him to kill it, but that's okay. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to heal myself. I'm going to save this as a surprise, because if I play it, then either of these 2 things could just kill it easily, and it wouldn't accomplish much. If for some reason she left him alive, I could buff him. That's probably not going to happen. But I'm going to see what she builds up. Should at least take some effort to get rid of him. Oh, she's making an army. It's going to be Holy Nova time soon. I've got 2 Holy Novas. Ah, the Eviscerate. That's pretty annoying. get out a Fairy Dragon. That's not bad. So I think I do want to Holy Nova. Get rid of these two guys. It would do some damage to her, heal me, and then I could either heal myself for 2, or put out the Fairy Dragon. I probably have to put out the Fairy Dragon, even though it'll get killed by something stupid. Yeah. She has more stuff out, but I have the advantage. I have a lot more cards in my hand. Oh yeah, I said I have to put out the Fairy Dragon. Stupid. She'll trade one of these guys for it, probably him. And then I still have another Holy Nova if I need it, or next turn I'll have enough mana to play the Direwolf, and then play this guy and give the Direwolf +3 health. So he'll sit there buffing this guy, and he'll be tough enough to survive, which he normally isn't. Okay. Astu is still a solid creature. So we went for damage with him. She's going to trade this guy for the Fairy Dragon, I'm pretty sure. She should be keeping the board clear if she can. Although if she does that, I could just Holy Nova all her minions. Now that's interesting. Left it alive. Oh, she could stab it. That's right. That's what she was thinking about. Okay, got it. So now this is a good question. Do I want to have 2 big minions out, or just Holy Nova, kill these 2 guys? That would take 6 damage off the table. That's pretty good. She's only got 1 card. I have lots of cards, and I'm going to get... Yeah. I think that drawing this out, like, the Holy Nova will slow down the whole game, which is really to my benefit. She wants to kill me as soon as possible because she knows I have way more cards. So, yeah, unless she gets a sprint, I have a pretty big advantage just by doing this. If I heal myself every turn and she stabs me with a dagger every turn, I'm gaining health. So, if neither of us can accomplish anything, the game will eventually end in me winning, because when you run out of cards, you start taking fatigue damage. Every time you draw a card, you take 1 damage for the first card that you couldn't draw, and then the damage increases by 1 every time you try and draw and can't. You take 1, 2, 3, 4... That's 10 damage from the first 4 cards you couldn't draw, and it only goes up from there. If we're just sort of trading blows and I'm healing, and if nobody does anything impressive for the rest of the game, then I would just win because of priestness. Oh, there's the Goldshire Footman. Maybe he can save the day. Actually, it's funny. I could give him the +3 health. I now have enough mana to do all 3 of those. All right. Goldshire Footman for the win. You're now a 1/5 footman. You're one of the larger footmen I've seen in recent times. Paladins make bigger footmen if they want, but that's if they play with them. And I will now... Do I want to play the Direwolf Alpha, or just keep healing myself to annoy them? This guy's already big enough to kill that. He's only going to do 1 damage back if she stabs him, but I could play this for surprise damage next turn. Although if I played him now, he would be able to attack next turn himself, which is another 2 damage. I'm just thinking of that, like, healing, that stalemate sort of stuff. I win a stalemate as a priest. I'm thinking I might want to just keep healing myself. As non-exciting as that may be. And I mean, it could backfire, but I don't know. I feel like the rogue is going to have a hard time killing through this stuff. Again, it could all change. If she gets a sprint, I'm not killing her or I wasn't killing her very fast. I might be killing her fast now. Okay, that spread some damage around. He's so random. But you can't control him at all. Yeah. You gonna do anything? You still have 2 cards. What are you waiting for with those cards? I'd love to know what those cards are. Oh, she gets bigger every time I heal her. Yeah, I can start doing this. Okay, first, we're getting to the point now, I have to check if I can kill her. Because if you've got lethal damage, just do it and end the game. So we've got 6, 7, 8, 9, if I put it in between them, boosting them. That's 9 damage. Then I play this next to the wolf after they've attacked. So I'd get another 5 plus 1 for the wolf. So that's 6. So it'd be 15. I could do 15 damage this turn for 8 mana. That doesn't actually win me the game. That's pretty close, though. Also, I could just trade my footman for this guy, and then I'd have control of the whole situation. Yeah. I think I should do that, because I'm getting a lot of damage. Kill that. I'd love to be able to put her out before I heal, so that she could, heal herself, but it doesn't look like it's going to work out. And I'm far enough ahead on health now that I'm going to heal my guy instead of myself. I don't think that an arena rogue with 3 cards is going to do 21 damage. I would go as far as to say it's probably impossible for her to kill me in 1 turn. If this was not the arena and constructed, I'd see some crazy things, mostly involving Leroy Jenkins. Okay. Well, that went surprisingly well. Being a priest is... priest is not necessarily the strongest class, but it's certainly one of the more obnoxious ones. And yeah, if you get to be... I'll say one thing. Priest seems to have a bigger advantage than most against inexperienced players, although why you need a bigger advantage against inexperienced players, I don't know. I don't know if those were inexperienced players. I feel like the first rogue might have been, but in any case, that went really well, and we'll see how much farther I can get next time. If you like this, please click the eponymous button and check out Tales from My D&D Campaign on youtube.com/Demonac.